Today, we're going to be talking about aid and attendance benefits for mental health conditions. So we hope that you'll join us for that. Hi, and welcome back to Hill and Ponton's VA Disability Blog. I am Natalia Jofre, the company's COO.
And I'm attorney Allison Reddick.
And so, Allison, as promised, we're going to be talking about aid and attendance benefits. I guess the first and most important question is, what is aid and attendance?
So what aid and attendance is, it's kind of what it sounds like. It's additional benefits for veterans who need regular aid and attendance. They need assistance with regular activities of daily living, such as getting dressed, undressed, feeding, going to the restroom, and just protecting themselves, having someone protect them from general dangers in their daily environment. Aid and attendance benefits are paid in addition to regular disability benefits. They can be for someone who requires in-home care, assisted living care, or nursing home care. And what is great about these benefits is that the caretaker doesn't have to be a medical professional. It can be a family member, spouse, child, anything like that that helps with everyday tasks.
That's great. Now, is this also special monthly compensation, or is that a different benefit?
So aid and attendance is a type of special monthly compensation. So when you have VA compensation benefits, they're monthly payments for a certain amount due to your disability as related to your service. So let's say you have a schedule or 100% rating, or you have 100% through individual unemployability benefits, but your conditions are so severe that you need more financial assistance to help take care of your conditions, then you receive compensation on top of that 100%. And that's what special monthly compensation is. And there's different levels of it depending on the type of disabilities that you have.
I think that sometimes when we talk about these different benefits, um, people often think about, well, is it worth the hassle? Is it going to be worth it? Like I was talking about Melanie a while back, and we were talking about like the difference between aid and attendance and a lot for the loss of use of hands, and the benefits were varying widely. Like it was anywhere from $100 a month to an extra $4,000 a month. It was all over the place. So for someone that maybe is listening to this and thinking, maybe do I qualify, but I don't know if I really want to go through the hassle of dealing with the VA again. What's the difference, generally speaking, when you're talking about aid and attendance versus like 100% service connected rating?
So it really depends on the level of SMC, special monthly compensation, that you qualify for, plus the amount of dependents you have. If you're married, you get extra payment for that. If you have children under 18 or that are in college, or you have dependent parents, you get additional compensation for that. So 100% rating, you get around $3,100, give or take.
Mhm.
Aid and attendance for just the veteran unmarried is $3,500. So that's an extra $400 a month. Depending on the number of dependents they have, that number goes up. Depending on the severity of their condition, like let's say a severe case of TBI, you can get paid at upwards of $8,000 to $9,000 a month. So it is a big difference depending on the extent of your condition, but the more advanced your condition is, the more extra care that's going to be needed.
Right.
So the VA does really take into consideration the extent of the disabilities, and they do compensate a generous amount with regard to that.
Depending on the condition, depending on the severity, right? More than
Yes.
the, yeah, more than the. So you gave a lot of great examples. And when we were talking about, aid in attendance and like if someone has to help you, get dressed, bathe you, feed you, take you to appointments, things like that. So often when we think aid in attendance, we're thinking physical disabilities. So my question for you is it possible to get aid in attendance for mental disabilities as well?
Absolutely. I mean, physical disabilities affect how you move physically and the things that you do, but your mental health can really affect that as well. I mean, a veteran struggling with depression or PTSD can stay in bed for days at a time. They can neglect their personal appearance, bathing, changing their clothes, shower, eating. And so there are many factors that play into it where absolutely a veteran can qualify for aid and attendance due to mental health issues.
How do they qualify for benefits?
So, what you would need to do is you would need your physician or your medical professional, whomever treats you, to fill out a form stating that due to your mental health condition, you need help with activities of daily living. The ways or signs that you qualify for that would be your mental health is impaired due to suicidal thinking or homicidal thinking, which would be, someone needs to watch over you because of harm to yourself or potential harm to others, violence, angry outbursts. Um, Other things would be like if you have diminished rational thinking,
Mhm.
your depression is so severe that you turn on the stove and then you forget about it, um, and you it affects your long or short term memory, and so you can't concentrate or you don't have that capacity to remember things because of the severity of your mental condition. So if you have severe impairment of your judgment, um, being able to take your medication. I mean, if you can't remember to take your medication and you need someone to help you remember to take it and take care of those activities of daily living, then you can definitely qualify for aid and attendance.
Okay, great. I've heard about this term housebound status. Can you tell us what housebound status is and how do you qualify for it?
So housebound is exactly what it sounds like. It's when someone is substantially confined to their home because of their service connected disability, and it's reasonably certain that this disability will continue throughout their lifetime. It's not going to get any better. Um, Physical ones would be like severe Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, things like that, where you're basically bound to your house, and it's difficult for you to leave without serious assistance. Um, for the mental aspect of it, agoraphobia, you're afraid to leave your house, severe
Hmm.
depression, you're just so depressed that you can't even get up out of your bed. It's hard for you to get out of your bed.
Hmm.
Anxiety, PTSD, there's too many triggers, you don't want to be around people. So those are examples that would fall under housebound potentially. And the
Hmm.
way to qualify for it would be to have your doctor write something to say that your mental health condition is so severe that you're basically housebound, like you can't leave. And I've seen that a lot with PTSD claims, that the doctor will say that the extent of their condition is so severe that they'll do telemedicine uh, appointments with them because they can't leave their house.
Wow. How do you file a claim for aid in attendance? Is there a specific form you need to fill out?
Yes, it is VA form 212680, which is examination for housebound status or permanent need for regular aid and attendance.
Uh-huh.
So you fill out that form to start the claim, and then it would be best to have your doctor actually fill it out to state, either a doctor or certified nurse practitioner, whomever physician assistant is your medical professional, and they will provide documentation. It's basically a list of questions. Can you feed yourself, or do you need assistance with that? Do you need assistance with dressing? Do you need assistance with using the restroom, managing medication, things like that? And the doctor fills that out, and that helps establish whether you are qualified for aid and attendance.
Okay. Any other evidence that you could suggest that would help with an aid and attendance claim?
Statements from whomever is helping you, your primary caretaker. Dates are really important. I know even though you file aid and attendance, let's say you file it today, that doesn't mean that your need for aid and attendance started today. You could have, if you've had claims pending prior, you're working on service connection and you keep those claims, the appeal period going, and then you file for aid and attendance, you potentially can get it back to when your service connected condition um, was evaluated at a level where aid and attendance would be an appropriate additional benefit. So I would
Mhm.
say dates are important to say, have your doctor especially include on your application. Even though he's filling it out in 2020, you've been needing aid and attendance since 2015.
Right.
Having your spouse or whomever's taking care of you list out all of the different things that they help you with, and basically that you wouldn't be able to live independently without them. You would need nursing care because of it.
Since you mentioned, potentially you filed in 2020, but really you've needed these benefits since 2015, is it possible for you to be awarded an earlier effective date and receive retroactive benefits for those 5 years where you should have been receiving these benefits but weren't?
If you have continuously appealed or litigated your claim since 2015, which is very possible, then absolutely. So let's say you filed for, let's say you're a Blue Water veteran and you
Mhm.
filed for diabetes back in 2015,
Mhm.
but you were denied because they didn't give presumptive exposure to Agent Orange. However, now, because they give presumptive exposure to Agent Orange, you reopen that claim, and you get your diabetes service connected back to 2015, and it was so severe that you have extensive peripheral neuropathy, and you have retinopathy where you have difficulties with your vision, and such, that your diabetes is so severe that you need aid and attendance. Then
Mhm.
yes, absolutely, you can get benefits all the way back to that date, because well, in that case it was reopened, but in any other case, if you continuously appealed your claim.
Okay. Anything else veterans should keep in mind when it comes to these types of benefits or claims?
Definitely keep this in mind for progressive diseases that you may not have extensive symptoms now, but in the future, due to the degenerative nature, you'll probably need assistance at some point. Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, and then even extensive diabetes where it's affecting multiple body systems. And definitely dates are extremely important, and having those buddy statement filled out by your spouse or caretaker, as well as having your doctor document specifically the activities of daily living that you're having issues with and need assistance, and from what date you started needing assistance.
That's great. That's great advice. Wonderful. All right, Allie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for joining us as well. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to visit our website or call our office.